and the 2010s, so last 20 years. And I think philanthropy follows wealth creation. So I think it's but natural to expect that philanthropy will increase now. You wouldn't have expected it 20 years ago. Two is we have many good role models. I think Mr. Premji is a real role model in terms of what he has done. Shiv Nadar, a number of the others in the IT sector, Nandan, all the Infosys founders. And I think they're real role models. And amongst the startups, people like the Kamath brothers from Zerodha, which you didn't have maybe 15 years ago. I think there are these, you gave my example, but I think it's a poor example. I think there are these examples of people who I think have created phenomenal wealth and want to give a large chunk of it back to society over the next 10, 20 years. And those announcements have been made publicly. And apart from giving the money away, I think they're also involved with their time, whether it's the Kamath brothers who are passionate about climate, or Nandan on digital public goods, or Mr. Premji building a university, education, so many other areas, now health, etc. So I think this has sort of unleashed a new wave where this has become almost an expectation. We started a new organization called Accelerate India Philanthropy to work with wealthy people to help them, really. Because often people have a desire to say, I want to give to gender, I want to give to health, but they don't know where to start. But I believe if you can get people started on their journey, the intent is there. It's just it's a second or third priority. People are tied up with their business. They're always busy doing things. But if you can show them good nonprofits or work that can be done, I think more will get unleashed in the next. So I'm very hopeful that the next 10, 20 years, we'll see much more money come from the philanthropic sector. Two is, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that building the next school doesn't necessarily give you massive ROI. India already has 1.5 million, 15 lakh schools. You can build one other great school, but is it really going to make a difference? I think a lot of people are looking at, system change. Government is already spending most of the money in education or health. How can you, like the Premji Foundation has, these field teams in 50 plus districts. It's a great way where you set up these teams, an institution of excellence, you partner with the district, work with them, help them improve. The Tatas have worked on nutrition, the Tata Trust. The Piramals have worked with a lot of the aspirational districts. So I think this idea of also philanthropists realizing that really the big player is government as far as social development is concerned, and partnering with state governments, partnering with the center is the way to go versus doing your own little thing on the side. So I think that's the other big change that I see. And a third one now is I think people are starting to think of ecosystem. Earlier, very little investment was made in our think tanks or other organizations. People wanted to see direct field work. Investing in policy change or advocacy. I think there's a little bit of that change. It's still very early stages. So I think apart from more money, it's also a question of how the money will get spent in the next 10, 20 years will be more strategic and quite different from the way it was spent in the last 20 years.